Hello everybody and welcome, I am Boom, and today we're going to see if we can beat the game Pokemon Emerald with Volbeat and Illumise. Now this is a run that I think will hopefully be doable, but I also think that it's going to be incredibly difficult for us to actually get through. Well, let's break it down by each Pokemon and then we'll hop into the run. First off, we'll be starting with a Volbeat, and looking here at its stats, I mean, nothing is great if we're being honest. The stats are at least passable, especially in the early game, but we're gonna fall off hard by the end of it. Mix that with the fire, flying, and rock weakness, which are three of the gyms that we're gonna be going against, and it's not gonna be great. Then you have the level up moveset, and that's also garbage. We get Signal Beam, which is good, but honestly, I'm not 100% sure what else our moveset is actually going to look like. Now we'll look at Illumise, and we won't be able to grab that until after the second gym. While Volbeat is a physical attacker, Illumise is a special attacker. Once again, nothing is crazy good, but between the two of them, we should be able to have at least some kind of strategy formed. Once again, level up moveset is garbage, but we can at least learn a few decent special attacking moves to provide some coverage. We'll also go ahead and hit up the game corner at some point to get some of those moves. Now, for the beginning of the game, we're gonna have to do a little bit of an annoying grind. We have Confuse Ray, and at level 9 we get Double Team, so basically we have to make sure that we drain our PP after losing against the first Zigzagoon, and then of course, we need to struggle our way to get a few levels before going to fight against the rival. Once we have a few levels under our belt, we're able to struggle our way to victory pretty handily against them, and then we'll go ahead and start through the beginning game portions. Now, we're gonna need some levels to try to make this happen as we get to the first gym, because Struggle will not do the job, but we do get Quick Attack at level 17, so we'll be fighting Roxanne then. Along the way, we go through the forest and the battle with the first Grunt being in there. I wanted to mention, there are a lot of Grunts with various Magma and Aqua members that you have to fight along the way, so primarily, we'll only be covering a few of the big ones. If there's a particular Grunt that gives us a lot of trouble, we'll be sure to cover it as well. But for right now, though, after a lot of levels and a lot of time spent in the woods, let's go ahead and see how things go against Roxanne. Now, with this lost attempt, I'm going to at least go ahead and show the best one that I have during this time period. We're mainly trying to get decent confusion luck, while also trying to make sure that we build up enough double teams. But ultimately, every time that it hits, it's just doing a little bit too much damage. So we do end up having to level up. I'm not 100% surprised by this, but I at least wanted to show that I did try at a lower level. Once we get to level 25, it's unfortunately more of the same, except we immediately start off with double teaming. Now, the good news is, Geodude is now finally missing because a Rock Tomb is still doing decent damage, as you can see by the third that ends up hitting, but we keep double teaming to try raising that evasiveness before healing up with some Moonlight. After the heal up, another hit, we do double team, and I want to clarify, normally I don't use double team strats until I hit level 100, but if the Pokemon learns it organically through level up, I do consider that free game. After building our 6, we swap over to Signal Beam, and we actually one-shot it. As the next Geodude comes out, we take the opportunity to heal up with Moonlight, and a critical hit Rock Tomb connects, so we heal up again. Then, Geodude defense curls, and we can swap to the offensive, taking it down as well. Finally, it's out to her Nose Pass, and it uses Harden as we Signal Beam it down to yellow and the berry activates. It uses Block for some reason, making Roxanne potion up. Then after that, we can go ahead, take it down for a pretty simple battle, and in hindsight, one that I definitely dragged out for way too long. With the first gym out of the way, it's at this time I'd like to remind you to like the video, and if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel. We have memberships, an active Discord, pretty much anything that you've heard me and every other YouTuber say probably about 1,000 times. Also, if you're wondering why we named our Volbeat 5, it's the 5th out of 14 runs that the community is voting on in the Discord every single week. I'm also going to be starting officially on that Arceus lock soon, and y'all, I am terrified, but if you haven't yet, make sure to check out Red Beard Guy on YouTube that I wouldn't even dream about tackling. Basically, one knockout means that he has to restart, but he's going through every single mainline game. It's absolutely insane. Anyway, there is an optional May fight, and we're pretty high leveled, but at the end of the day, we are a bug type. So let's try to go ahead and at least get that extra EXP while we can. May first starts off with Lotat and Quick Attack, does take it down in one shot. Then you have Torchic and Quick Attack takes it to yellow as Ember connects for decent damage. And then it goes down, winning us a pretty simple battle. With that, we'll go ahead, take Sail Across the Sea, and we'll also face off against Brawly. But first, we have to play Mail Carrier Simulator. Technically, it would probably be easier to fight Brawly, so I have Flash and then go. But might as well go ahead and get the stuff I don't like doing out of the way first. I'm about at the point where I can actually navigate the cave pretty quickly, even in the dark. So without rambling too much, we'll go fight Brawly. I'll see y'all there. Machop is first, and Quick Attack doesn't even take it to half as it uses Seismic Toss to do its guaranteed damage, and we take it to red. It thankfully uses Karate Chop, which doesn't do much at all, and Brawly heals up. We swap over to Signal Beam, taking it to red with a crit, then knocking it out with a Quick Attack. Metatite is next, so we use Quick Attack to take it to half as it uses Bulk Up, and we Quick Attack again to take it to red as it continues to get swole with Bulk Up. Brawly heals again, and we actually swap the Signal Beam after a weak Quick Attack to take it down. Makuhita is his last Pokemon, and we Quick Attack for decent damage as Vital Throw just kind of glances off. We do opt to heal just in case, and then Quick Attack it to red. Reversal isn't doing too much, and the berry does take it out of healing range. Quick Attack takes it back to yellow, and then we can take it down to win the next badge. With that badge out of the way, we have some mandatory Grunt battles to go through, and we can also go ahead and grab our second and final team member, Illumise. And if I'm saying the name wrong, I apologize. That's just how I've heard it, and that's what seems easiest to me. Now, we do go ahead and slap an experience share on it to make the grind a little bit easier, but before all of that, we have a May fight, and depending on your starter, this is a pretty difficult fight, especially in solo runs, and sometimes even Nuzlocke if your encounters don't go too well. May starts with Wingull, and we're able to take it out pretty quickly. Next out is Combuskin, and Quick Attack doesn't do as much as I'd like, as it uses Focus Energy. We swap to Signal Beam, and that does nothing. As Ember does solid damage, we swap back to Quick Attack. Ember then crits to take us out. Okay, I think that we can do this as long as we don't try using Signal Beam. The beginning with the Wingull goes about the same, taking it down pretty quickly, then Combuskin, and we focus on quick attacks. And we do heal up after a few attacks for safety, but we're just able to take it down a lot easier. Then Lombre is her last Pokemon, and we do immediately heal just to make sure we don't get one-shotted, as Swift connects for a bit of damage. We take it to almost half, then Signal Beam finishes it off to win the battle. Now, after nabbing the second teammate I mentioned earlier, because I definitely kind of got my pacing screwed up a little bit, it's fine. We do a bit of grinding on the trainers that are on either side of the town. With that being said, Watson is still probably going to be an absolute menace, so let's see how things go against him. Voltorb is first, and we use Quick Attack for decent damage thanks to a crit, and Spark does decent enough damage. We do take it to half, as Spark takes us to almost half, and paralyzes us, because naturally. We send out Volbeat against Electrike, and Signal Beam takes it to red as it uses Howl. Watson heals up, and we take it to yellow, and then take it down. Magneton is next, and Signal Beam isn't doing much at all. Thunderwave paralyzes us, and a Shockwave does a decent chunk of damage. Then we stay paralyzed. From there, it is an absolute slog, and despite our best efforts, even using Moonlight to try and stall things out a little bit, we just go down without too much trouble. So this takes a lot of attempts, a lot of levels, and we also end up doing some gambling. And by that, I mean I grab the TM for Thunderbolt, which can be won at the game corner. Now, in the interest of honesty, just like I allow rare candies, I do allow HMs and, well, TMs to be put into the PC to save time, but I only grab the ones that are physically allowed to be used at this time. So, this way it's still legit, it's just a way to try to speed things up quicker for me. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to post these videos once a week with having the full-time job on top of it. All the way level 35 and about a dozen attempts in, we have this one. Watson first sends out Voltorb, and we open with Thunderbolt, taking it below half, and it just blows up, doing some really solid damage to us. Next out is Electrike, and we use Wish, hoping to live the next shot, and since it just uses Howl, we do. We swap to Thunderbolt, taking it to yellow as it howls again as we heal up, and then next turn we can take it down. After that, you have the Magneton Roadblock, and we don't take it to half, but we do paralyze it, and it returns the favor. Thunderbolt takes it to red, and Shockwave does some solid damage with a crit. We Wish as Watson heals. From there, we trade some attacks back and forth, getting taken to yellow as Watson heals again. We take it back to almost half, both spend a turn paralyzed, and it's back to red for the third time, and we take it down. Last up is Main Nectric, and it does take out Illumise, so we swap over to Volbeat, which is a band, by the way, and Signal Beam does some solid damage as it paralyzes us. We do Quick Attack to keep it from healing, which works thankfully. Its Berry does activate though, and we get taken to 40 HP as we land a Signal Beam. We then get taken to 21 HP before landing the final Signal Beam to win the battle and the badge. Alright, not gonna lie, that was a really tough badge, but hopefully that'll be the last roadblock for a while. I tend to write these scripts as I go along through the game, so even I'm not 100% sure how the game is gonna end just yet. The good news is, though, we're able to move on, and we have plenty of mandatory trainers that we'll have to face before we go against Flannery, who I'm sure is also going to be an absolute nightmare for us. For now, though, our travels takes us to Maxie, and we play Spot the Hiker Up the Mountain 2025, but sadly, he does not make an appearance this time around. If you are unaware, there is a very low chance for a hiker to be seen going up or down the mountain when you're riding the cart up. Part of me actually wants to go through my old Emerald challenges to see if I've just completely missed him before, but let's go ahead and see how the anime fight by an active volcano actually goes. Midina's first, and we actually one-shot it with Signal Beam. As Camera Up comes out, Signal Beam doesn't do much, but to be fair, Magnitude doesn't do a lot either, but there's still a decent bit to go, so we start double teaming and then we heal up as well. After that, we swap to doing some quick attacks since that's a bit more damage. This does take time, and Maxie heals up, and we use Moonlight to copy that strategy. From there, it's back to the chip battle from both sides, and this takes a full few minutes, but we do manage to take it down. Then, after that, it's out to Zubat, and we swap to Illumise to use Thunderbolt and one-shot it. Alright, so what we'll do is we'll fight Flannery, then Norman, and then after those two battles are done, we'll be able to do a little bit of a mid-game review. I have a feeling that Flannery will have the potential to be a roadblock because, I mean, look at the type matchup. Until we get to Juan, we don't even have access to Water Pulse or a Water Move, so there's not much that I can do at the moment, but let's give it a shot. Numel's up first, and we begin working on setting up Double Team, and Magnitude isn't doing much. We then swap over to Quick Attack and take it to red as it uses Takedown. Flannery will heal up here, so we take the chance to do the same. Quick Attack takes it back to almost half as it uses Sunny Day. Maybe a few more double teams won't hurt. It also helps waste a Sunny Day turn. It uses another takedown, and then we take it down next turn. Next out is Slugma, and Quick Attack takes it to half as Overheat takes us all the way to 5 HP. And the sun fades, so we heal back up as Slugma misses Overheat. Quick Attack then takes it out, but not before it sets up another Sunny Day, unfortunately. Camera Up comes out and misses its attack as we use Quick Attack, doing some decent damage, but Overheat then just one-shots us. We swap out to Illumise, and we're barely doing anything with Quick Attack, but it just uses Tackle, so after a long time, we do manage to win. Torkoal is last, so we do solid damage to it, and then Overheat just one-shots us. So we do have to grab a few levels, because ultimately, this was actually our best attempt. Even if we build up full double teams, it still takes a long time to be able to take down our Pokemon, so it's too many chances for us to actually be hit, and one Overheat is enough to either do a lot or just straight up knock us out every single time. So with Numel, we can now take it down pretty quickly, but not before it sets up Sunny Day. At this level, we take Slugman down below half, and an Overheat still takes us all the way down to 16 HP. Before we have to worry about healing up, we can now take it down with decent HP. Camera Up, on the other hand, yeah, that's still a slugfest, and there's no way around that. Not gonna bother recapping that, because honestly, until it uses Overheat, it's not super entertaining. Torkoal's out, and we do some chip damage to it, but RNG is finally on our side as it misses every attack it throws at us, finally letting us win the battle at this level, 5 attempts in. Alright, let's go ahead, take on Norman, and then while we do some travel into the next leg of the game, we can go ahead and talk about how these absolute powerhouses are doing. Norman first starts with Spinda, and we use Signal Beam, taking it below half as it uses Teeter Dance, and then we take it down. Vigoroth is next, and we snap out of Confusion, then Signal Beam it to almost half. Slash does some solid damage, and we quick attack it to yellow as Facade pings off, then Norman heals. We copy that, and his next slash crits, so we heal again. After that, we swap to Signal Beam, taking it to low yellow. We heal up, then we take it down with Signal Beam. Lanoon is next, and Signal Beam takes it almost half as it hits us. We heal, then go back on the offensive, taking it to yellow, and heal up with our last PP, then take it down. Now it's on to the big man himself, and Facade one-shots us with a crit. As we swap to Illumise, we Thunderbolt it, and it does decent damage. Knowing it'll hit like a truck, we use Wish as it uses Yawn. We swap back to Thunderbolt, taking it to yellow as we take a nap. After that, Facade takes us below half and takes us out before we can set up another Wish. Okay, let me try that a few times. We get back to the slacking, no problem, and Signal Beam it as it uses counter both times. It has the chance to attack, and then it just uses Yawn afterwards, so we take it down. Not how I expected to win this fight by any means, but sometimes the RNG just does whatever it wants. Now that we're halfway through the game, we have a lot to cover with not one, but two Pokemon. Honestly, this is probably one of the harder runs that I've had to do in a while. Usually in duo runs, I have enough moves to provide coverage of every kind, but not in this particular one. Then, to top things off, they're just too weak to do much of anything. Illumise is actually beginning to be a bit more valuable than Volbeat because it can attack with special moves, providing us some kind of damage with Thunderbolt, but overall this run is rough. We still have a Flying Gym and the Doubles Gym. That can cause some problems for us. Most battles that we do honestly just end up taking us multiple attempts, and even regular trainers can sometimes whittle us down into the red before we win. I just only show one of the losses or skip straight to winning, because if not, this video would be a couple hours pretty easily. For now though, we can go ahead, skip a little bit to Four Tree City. This is always going to be one of my favorite design cities, and while I'm thinking about it, what's your favorite city design? Whether it be from an older game, a newer game, or if you want to list multiple games, that's totally cool too. Alright, now that I've gotten the preamble out of the way, let's go ahead and see how this next gym is going to go. I feel alright enough about it given our level of moveset. Thunderbolt is going to be a hard carry for us, but there's only one way to see if we actually stand against Winona and her flying types. But before I do that, because I definitely didn't forget about her until like just now, we have a May fight that we have to cover, and it's probably the last time that we're going to face her unless we need to get into the department store later. Pelipper is up first, so we swap over to Illumise, thankfully on a Protect turn. It uses it again next turn, and then we can just take it out one shot afterwards. After that, you have Combuskin, and this is a scarier Pokemon, but with the rain, its attacks are considerably weaker, and we actually land a crit to take it down in one go. And then finally, you have Lombre, and we get hit with a weak Fake Out, then we take it to yellow. Nature Power connects, and then we can take it down to win the battle. Now we'll head to Winona's gym. The good news is there's plenty of trainers inside to train Illumise and get that extra firepower with Thunderbolt. Also, this dude that talks to you after you beat May, and then he also talked to us after we beat Wally at the very beginning, like, what is his purpose? Is he important in the game at all, or is he just a hype man? Because honestly, it's been so long since I've played the game just regularly and not doing a challenge run that I don't actually remember. So let me know, because I'm curious. Winona first sends out Swablu, and we open with Thunderbolt, taking it down in one shot. Then you have Tropius, and we actually swap over to Volbeat, as it uses Sunny Day. Aerius does solid damage, and we use Signal Beam, taking it to not quite half. We opt for Quick Attack to take it to a little below half, and Ace takes us pretty low, then it takes us out. We swap back to Illumise, and Thunderbolt hits it, taking it out. Pelipper is next, and 4 times weak to Thunderbolt, so after a Protect turn, it goes down without issue. Then she sends out Altaria. We use Thunderbolt, not doing as much as I'd like as it begins dancing. And I get an idea. Encore. If this works, we can take it down. If it doesn't, it's going to be a one-shot. We take it below half as the berry procs, and it dances. We do a small chip with Quick Attack, and it dances. And then, we swap over to Thunderbolt to nab the KO. Her last Pokemon is Skarmory, and we use Thunderbolt, taking it down in one go to win. A pretty simple battle, but honestly, without Encore, this probably would have been a wipe. Now, we have some more game to go, along with some grunt battles and whatnot, but one thing that we'll actually cover is the fight against Maxi, because at this point, it can actually be a little bit of a threat. Mighty Ina's up first, and we open with Signal Beam, taking it to yellow and confusing it as it snacks itself, and then we can take it out. Camera Up is next, and we use Return for decent enough damage, as Rock Slide does a lot. We use another Return, taking it to yellow as we get knocked out. Maxi heals up as we swap, and we begin attacking, but we go down not long after. A dozen or so attempts in the Mighty Ina part of the battle, it actually uses Swagger, and despite us smacking ourselves a few times, we can heal up and take it down without too much of a problem, and with the boost to our attack as well. With the boosted attack, we're able to take down Camera Up with no issue whatsoever, and then last up is Crobat. Crobat is tricky, admittedly, and it uses Wing Attack for a solid chunk of damage, and we hit it with Return down to red. Crobat then misses its Wing Attack, allowing us to take it down to win the battle. Now it's time for us to head into arguably the hardest gym of the game, Tate and Liza. Now, for the sake of the time of this video, I'll just show the few losing attempts without actually covering them, mostly because this thing is a beast to cover on a good attempt. Usually, we can take down Xatu before it becomes too much of an issue, but even with having two separate Pokemon, they just have a lot more power on their side than what we do. This takes up a lot of attempts. We look at our movesets and see if there's anything that we can do, but ultimately, it just requires a decent bit of leveling before we can stand a chance against either of them. All the way at level 50, and bear with me while I try to cover this best I can, while it's a 2v2, rather than the 2v1 that I usually cover. We open with Thunderbolt on the Xatu, and we can now take it to a Sliver as it sets up Calm Mind, and then Claydol goes to around half. Earthquake does a bit of damage, especially to Illumise due to a crit, and we set up a Wish to ensure that it'll stay alive. Xatu gets healed up, and we use Return, getting a critical hit to take it back to a Sliver, and then we get taken to yellow. Tate and Liza heal up again, and we take it down, this time with a critical hit. Soul Rock comes out as we Signal Beam the Claydol, taking it to a Sliver, and Earthquake leaves us in the red, but Wish brings us back up to the green, and we Thunderbolt the Soul Rock, then Signal Beam it to take it down before it can set up any fire moves. Lunatone comes out, and we do Thunderbolt it with Illumise, and Volbeat heals up. After that, we double down on our attacks on Lunatone, taking it down. After that, it's just the Claydol, and we double our efforts once more. But I forget that Thunderbolt doesn't actually do anything to Claydol, so Illumise goes down, just being useless. Another Signal Beam takes it to red, Psychic takes us to yellow, and Tate and Liza heal. Signal Beam takes it to yellow, confuses it, and then we can actually take it down to win the battle. So with that, we have a bunch of stuff to take care of before we can even get to the last gym battle. We just have one little thing to do, and it's just saving the world. Given the fact that we have a type advantage going into this last gym, I don't think it'll be too much of an issue. But for now, let me play you a beautiful cutscene showing two, basically children, ready to square up until Mom comes in and says that you both have to go to bed. Let's fight Juan. Juan first sends out Love Disc, and we open with Volbeat using Return to take it to yellow, as it misses its attack, and then we can take it down. Whiscash comes out next, and we take it to almost half as it uses Amnesia, and then we use another Return, taking it to red as it sets up Rain Dance, and this is getting scary. Juan heals, so we opt for Signal Beam, barely doing anything due to Amnesia. That was stupid. And we return it, taking it to about half. It uses Amnesia again, and then we take it down. We swap to Illumise on the Celio coming out, and Thunderbolt takes it to yellow as Water Pulse connects. The rain stops, and then we can just take it down. Crawdonk comes out, and Thunderbolt takes it down with one shot. Now, it's just down to Kingdra, and we use Thunderbolt, and we're doing decent damage, but it's setting up double teams pretty quickly. When we do connect, we're doing good damage, but then it rests, and immediately wakes up due to the Chesto. We do try to Encore to keep it asleep for a few turns, as we swap back to Volbeat, but after that, there's a lot of missing in our battle, and when we do manage to connect to take it to yellow, it just rests back up. So, despite our best efforts, we just end up going down. Alright, let me try to fight a few of the trainers here, and then we'll try again. Love Disc is first and goes down in one shot, just like before, and then we swap to Volbeat for Whiscash, just like we did. We can take it down with two returns. From there, The rest of the match plays just like it did before, but this time right after that, we actually get a Paralyze on Kingdra as it hits with Ice Beam, and we tank it the best that we can. We then just get a crit to take it down to win the battle. Very much luck-based, but hey, we got a gym badge without needing to spend too much time or levels on it, so I'm pretty happy about that. Alright, so we can go ahead, go to Victory Road. We have one more Wally fight to go. Usually by now, the final fight is nothing to worry about. I don't think we'll have to worry too much. But let's find out. We also did some leveling on the way to the with the trainers because I have a feeling the Elite Four is going to be a bit of a pain, but we'll see how we do. Wally starts with Altaria, and we take it to red, paralyze it, get the para, then knock it out. After that, Delcatty comes out, and we swap over to Volbeat, taking it to yellow. Charm lowers our attack, and we take it to red. The rival heals, and we swap to Signal Beam, taking it down in a few turns. When Magneton comes out, we swap back to Illumise to shake off the attack drop, and we use Shadow Ball. Thunderbolt does a lot, given the fact that it crits, and we do Giga Drain for a little bit of HP, but then we just get taken down. We swap back to Volbeat, because we have no choice, and take it down with a critical hit return. Rosalia's out, and we use Return, taking it to red, as it unfortunately uses Toxic, and then Wally heals up before we take it down. Gardevoir's hits last mod, and we use Return to take it to half, as Toxic whittles us all the way down to 38 HP before we take it down to win the battle. Alright, now that we're traveling through Victory Road, we can do a little bit of theory crafting. I think Sydney will be pretty easy given the fact that we have Signal Beam and a special attacker if needed. Then you have Phoebe, and I think the biggest issue will be the Dusclops that have pressure. Since we only found one PP up, I could go and get more, but I'm already behind the 8-ball on timing with this. Afterwards, Glacia can be a problem, but for most of her Pokemon, we do have the advantage, though her Pokemon will too, technically. Drake, yeah, just like with Lance, the man has dragons, and I don't expect that to go too well. The champion, at least, will be able to do super effective damage to most of his Pokemon, but he also has a Kingdra, and after seeing how the one that Juan had was treating us, I am admittedly a little bit nervous. So, Sydney is first, and we use Signal Beam, taking it to yellow as Sand Attack connects, then we take it down. Absol's next, and we use Signal Beam, taking it down with a critical hit. We swap to Illumise for Shiftry because we don't want to keep risking the miss. It begins double teaming after a weak hit, then uses Swagger, and we smack ourselves, then get hit with extra Sensory before we take it down with Signal Beam. Cacturn is next, and we smack ourselves and get taken down. We swap to Illumise and Shadow Ball it, taking not much of its health. We basically just have to continue with Shadow Ball, and we take it down not long after. Crawdon is out, and we swap to Thunderbolt, taking it down and winning the battle. Phoebe's up next, and we'll see. Dusclops always opens with Protect, usually, and we take it to yellow, and then we get Confused Raid. We then smack ourselves, and Shadow Punch does solid damage before we smack ourselves again, then take it down. As the next Dusclops comes out, we swap over to Volbeat, and Signal Beam doesn't do much. Definitely forgot my typing again, but it smacks itself, and we swap back to Illumise as it smacks itself again. We use Giga Drain for some HP, then get hit with some Rock Slide, taking it to a Sliver as it misses, then take it down. Bayonet is next, and Shadow Ball takes it to red, and then we just get taken out. Now, we do try this a few times, but honestly, we're just not doing enough damage. Add that to the fact that they have pressure, and we're just not able to take them down quickly enough, so what we need to do is level up, because we need to try and at least two-shot each of the Dusclops, because that's already 4 PP used. So without too much of a choice and not trying to break the game entirely, we do have to level up somewhat. At level 70, it opens with Protect as usual, so we use Thunderbolt, then Thunderbolt again to take it to yellow before taking it down. With the next Dusclops, we Thunderbolt, getting Rock Slid, I think that's the way to say that, and then take it down. We Giga Drain Bayonet and take some damage before knocking it out with Shadow Ball. The Sableye does give us a little bit of trouble, but we're able to take it down with 55 HP remaining. And then as Bayonet comes out, we Giga Drain, and then Shadow Ball it to win the battle, and thankfully get to move on. Alright, that's 2 down and way more Heartbreak to go, so let's see if we can take on Glacia. Celio is up first, so we use Thunderbolt, taking it down in one shot. Glalie comes out, and we use Shadow Ball, taking it to not quite half, and then a critical hit takes it down. The next Celio comes out, and we Thunderbolt again, taking it to red. Then Glacia heals up, so we use Giga Drain and get back some HP, taking it to about half, and then we can take it down with Thunderbolt. As the next Glalie comes out, we swap over to Volbeat and use Return, taking it to below half, as Ice Beam connects for solid damage, and then we take it down. Last up is Walrein. We use Return, taking it to almost half, as Ice Beam does decent damage. We use Signal Beam, taking it to yellow, then Ice Beam takes us down. We swap over to Illumise on the Berry heal using Thunderbolt, and that thankfully takes it out to win the battle. Well, Drake, I mean, come on, did you really all think that we were going to win this even remotely easily, even with the most luck in the world? We can usually get past Shelgon, but then after that it just goes downhill pretty quickly. Sometimes we make it to Salamence. We'll level up and we'll just have to see how it goes. Shelgon wastes some time with Protects, but we're able to take it down without too much of an issue. Then you have Flygon and we use Signal Beam. Tank and Flamethrower better than I thought, then take it down with Return. Altaria comes out, we take it to yellow, and it returns the favor with Aerial Ace, then it goes down. As Salamence comes out, we heal up with Moonlight, and Flamethrower does some solid damage as we heal up again. We have about 100 HP, and we use Return, taking it to almost half as Rock Slide connects. Then we take it to yellow as Crunch gets the KO. We swap over to Illumise as the Berry brings the Salamence out of healing range, and we Thunderbolt it, taking it down. Kingdra is his last Pokemon. We use Thunderbolt, taking it to almost half as it dances the day away. We Giga Drain for a bit of damage, mostly trying to heal just a smidge, and it dances again. They heal up, we take it to half, then we take it to a Sliver, and Body Slam takes us to 19 HP, paralyzes us, but we still land our next hit to win the battle. Okay, let's see if we can take on the champion. Wailord is first, and we open with Illumise and use Thunderbolt, taking it to red as it uses a weak water sport. Wallace heals up, and we use Thunderbolt again, taking it to red, then take it down with Shadow Ball. Tentacruel is next, and we use Thunderbolt, taking it to red, then get hit with a pretty solid critical hit Hydro Pump, before taking it down with a Giga Drain, gaining a little bit of HP back. Ludicolo's next, and we get hit, taking it to almost half. We do heal up a smidge with Giga Drain to try and stay out of its healing range. As it hits Surf, then we knock it out. Whiscash is next, and we use Giga Drain for that beautiful 4x weakness, taking it down and getting a good chunk of HP back. Then you have Gyarados, and that's probably always going to be a one-shot. Last but not least is Milotic, easily the scariest of the Pokemon, as we use Thunderbolt to take it below half as Toxic connects. The Berry takes it out of healing, and then we take it down with the Thunderbolt to win the battle and the run. Now, the run is technically won, but we're not quite done yet. We have a Secret Steven fight that, well, it's not so secret anymore. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and level up, swap our moves around, and overall this took me 57 attempts to pull off even after reaching level 100. And that's not even counting the attempts before that. But at attempt number 58, let me show you what happens. As long as we get the high roll on Thunderbolt, we can take Skarmory down with one Thunderbolt, which we do. The next up is Claydol, and we Shadow Ball it, and it responds with a screen before it goes down. We swap over to Volbeat as Cradily comes out, Brick Breaking it to break the screen, and also one-shot it. After that, our Maldo's out, and we swap back to Illumise, taking it to half with Water Pulse, as it hits hard, then knocks us out. We take Aggron to red, as it knocks us out, and then we swap over to Volbeat to knock it out. As Metagross comes out, we start Signal Beaming, and it hits hard with a Meteor Mash, before missing back-to-back. And that's what lets us take it out to finally win the secret fight. Alright, well I hope that you enjoyed this run, because honestly it was pretty horrible. It's Thursday, but I'm writing this and we'll record it, and also probably try to get some of the editing done. Next week, I'm not 100% sure when I'm going to be playing yet, but as of right now, Horsey is leading the poll. So if you want to help decide run number 6 out of 14, make sure to join the Discord. For now though, I hope that you all have a great weekend coming up, and it's almost September, which hopefully means that the weather is going to be cooling down some. For now though, if you liked the video, even if you didn't like the video, hit the like and subscribe button, because it really does help me out. And until next time everybody, peace out!